Can't really ask for a much nicer day than today, Mike.
The only downside to all this, Pat, is the pollen.
Yeah, it affects a lot of us.
Yeah, it is brutal out there. The other day I was sitting outside and I was eating and I looked down and there was just a layer of yellow film on my food.
Yeah, a little tiresome.
Yeah, not great. And part of that has to do with the precip deficits we've been running, especially across parts of southern and central Maine. Take a look down almost 3.5 inches in Portland, down about a ½ inch in Augusta, a little over a ½ inch in Bangor. So these deficits and surpluses are pretty close to normal, not a huge red flag of any sorts. Where we're a little more interested, of course, is these big deficits in Portland and the big surpluses in the county in Caribou. And I think that that's something that we're going to see a little bit more, especially as we move some more showers and storms through on Friday. This time of year, we tend to see a lot of that fizzle by the time it reaches the coastline, and it's a little bit more robust inland. Today, it's certainly breezy out there. This is helping to move the pollen around. Gusts to about 30 miles an hour are some of the highest and mostly relegated to the high peaks. But high temperatures today will jump back into the 70s for a lot of us. A couple of spots down east and into the county may end up stuck in the 60s. But overall, I think a lot of us do get to enjoy a pretty nice day. We're still tracking some severe weather well to our south. None of this is going to affect us, but it is pretty interesting, and I'm sure that we will have an interesting look as to whether or not this storm is officially going to be called a derecho or not. A pretty impressive storm system that began yesterday in Wisconsin and made it all the way to the Atlantic coastline. Locally, really not much else to talk about. Maybe a couple of stray showers in Washington County later on as we wrap some precip around the backside of that low, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue by any means. Temperatures again staying pretty mild for many of us today, and then tonight we just have to watch where this cloud cover ends up. It should break apart, which means that everyone ends up back down in the 50s tonight under partly to mostly clear skies. By the time we start the day off tomorrow, pretty nice. About 60 degrees at 7 a.m. Temperatures climbing quickly into the 70s with some 80s mixed in, especially away from the coastline. Just got to watch for a sea breeze to kick up, but with wind coming generally out of the north, that's going to help to keep a lot of the fog and things like that away from us. There will be some fog banks well to our south, but I don't think that any of Maine or New Hampshire really ends up inside of those. And then we'll see a couple of transient clouds again tomorrow night. The big story is going to be what happens on Thursday, though. As the high pressure shifts east, our wind shifts to be out of the south and southwest. So we pull in a lot of warm air. It's going to feel a little bit humid on Thursday. And then this cold front comes crashing through on Friday. And with it, we will likely see a line of thunderstorms very similar to what we saw yesterday. And behind all of this, we do bring in some cooler air. And again, if we can't push this low far enough east, we will be dealing with some lingering showers on Saturday and maybe even into Sunday for Father's Day weekend. However, if we can just give it a little nudge past the Canadian Maritimes, then we end up with just beautiful conditions with a lot of sunshine. Either way, though, I do think this is going to set us up for a bit of a cooler stretch with below normal temperatures expected as we get into the final week of June 20th to June 24th time frame shown here. I don't think it's going to be too chilly, but temperatures maybe in the 60s during the day as opposed to the 70s, which is where we would normally be. And just a reminder, we still have over a month until we hit our highest average temperature, which is 80 degrees on July 24th. So if you like heat and humidity, we still have plenty of time to bring more of that through. Seas 2 to 3 feet today, water 59 degrees now. And as we mix in more of these sunny days, we should see the upper parts of Casco Bay warm pretty quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some 60s mixed in before we even get into July. Storms possible Friday. That's really the big weather story for the remainder of the week. Partly sunny and cooler Saturday. Maybe a couple of pop-up showers on Sunday, and notice those temperatures really only running in the 60s inland. Maybe we make it to 70 at the coastline on Saturday, about 66 on Sunday, though. So, Pat, hopefully things will look a little bit better as we get closer to Father's Day, but I still don't think it's a washout by any means.
We'll stay tuned. Thank you, Mike.